Hey, beautiful people, podcast listeners. It is another episode of What's Your Brand Story with your host, Dils Victoria. I know you're doing well because you're listening to the podcast episode. So I'm grateful that you are alive and well and doing all of the things. I wanted to bring on a very special guest. All my guests are special, of course. This one, we pretty much kind of like have an alignment when it comes to marketing and branding and strategy and things like that. So I just wanted to bring her on to get a different perspective of someone else who does branding and marketing and is on social media and a different take on it from another person's experience. So I'm bringing on Cheri Cobb. She is an amazing marketing brand specialist. And I just wanted to just like get her on here. So, have a notebook and a pen, especially if you're catching the replay, because I know she's going to drop some gems. So thank you so much, Cheri, for joining us on What's Your Brand Story podcast. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm at a loss of words. I mean, you said so much. Where do I even start? So, hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Cheri, and I am a full-time OnlyFans creator.
Oh,
No, I'm just
wow.
playing. I'm just playing.
I was going to
No,
say, show me, teach me the
no.
way.
Look, I know, right? Look, and if it look, no shade to OnlyFans creators out there.
I had
Okay,
an OnlyFans at one time. I was trying to get into OnlyFans at one time, not to do anything scandalous, but just like
yeah.
motivate the masses or whatever. So, I mean, even if you were, I'd be like, girl, tell me more. Like, how do I get that money in there?
Look, and I'm right behind you. So if we do have any listeners out there and you are OnlyFans creators, hit us up
Exactly.
in the DM. Okay. Fun's over. Yes, I'm Cheri. I am a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm a full-time, passionate business owner, and I'm a Capricorn, a true Capricorn. And I just happen to have a passion for video content creation, all things marketing, which led me to open and launch my own marketing company, and it's called Cheri Cobb Creative. And we actually specialize in medical and dental aesthetics marketing. So we
Mm,
work with med spa owners, dermatologists, aesthetic clinic owners, medical and dental both, aesthetic dentists, cosmetic dentists, and all of the different service providers that just help you feel better, look better about yourself. So that's what we do.
okay, cool. That is amazing. So, how did you get into that specific industry when it comes to like dental and cosmetic and things and medical? Like, what led you to that industry?
So actually, nothing really led me to that industry. I'll be quite honest. I have been teaching social media. Well, it started with social media tips. I started giving social media tips about 2016 on YouTube. I had a blog, and I just found various ways to teach social media tips. And then I would have a couple of people say to me, hey, I don't really know. And this was a true conversation. She really said this. She was like, hey, she was an esthetician. She said, I don't really know what it is that you do exactly, but I know I need your help. And at
Mm-hmm.
this time, I hadn't had a business idea. I was basically just a face online giving information. And I just kind of, I saw who it would attract. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I started very messy. I had no plan. Like I said, I just taught social media tips. And the reason why, let me go back a little further. The reason why I started teaching social media tips is because I myself was a lifestyle blogger. So I would do different hotel reviews where I would go stay at hotels for like 2 or 3 days for free in exchange for video content. I did restaurant reviews. So I did all things. And I even had an e-commerce store. So I did a lot. But what I would notice over time is that I didn't really get a lot of people who were curious like about the restaurants I would go into or about the hotels I stayed at. People more so wanted to know, well, Cheri, how did you put this video together? How did you get this deal to work with the hotel? How did you
Mm-hmm.
start a YouTube channel? How did you launch a website? So those were the questions that I got. So that's what made me started teaching social media tips. I was literally capturing the questions that people would ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I would put them on a spreadsheet because I'm a spreadsheet Excel queen. And then I would go through those questions and create YouTube videos and blog posts to answer those questions. So
Mm-hmm.
then eventually, I want to say in about 2019, that's when I had an esthetician reach out, and she's like, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but I know we need your help. Can you do it for us?" Still had no business. Okay, I was just like, "Hey, yep, whatever." Only only charging like $200 at the time. I had no clue of what I was doing, but I knew it felt right because I felt like I was in the place I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, working with an esthetician, a couple of med spas, I still wasn't marketing to my ideal client. I was just basically creating generic content for the masses,
Mm-hmm.
how to edit a video, how to start a blog post, how to write engaging hooks. And that's very surface level type of content. I call it $5 problems. And then what? I mean, it's serious. It's $5 problems. Because when you think about the type of person, my ideal client, okay, my
Mm-hmm.
ideal client is busy running a clinic. They don't have time to learn videography, editing skills, and things like that.
Yeah.
However, when I would create social media marketing tips for the masses, I'm
Mm-hmm.
teaching how to edit a video, that types of content, it attracts a certain type of person. It doesn't necessarily
True.
attract the person that is looking to outsource this. Okay, so I kind of basically just had a shift in my delivery of content. I created specifically for my ideal client. I started using the same terminology they use. I started, speaking directly to their pain points and the things that I know they struggle with. And let's be honest, a med spa that's bringing in $500,000 a year, they have different problems than a small business owner that's bringing in not $90,000 a year or 100. They have different problems. So tailoring your message, which is what I have done within the last 2 years, tailoring my messaging to speak to the person that I am looking to attract. So for that
Mm-hmm.
reason, I started a new social media account. I started like a lot of things new because I wanted to heavily optimize my content with, to speak to my ideal client. And that's where we are today.
That's what's up. How did you know exactly how to speak to your clients? Was there some type of content you use? Because I know you mentioned just now pain points. So what would walk me through that process of like what a pain point would look like and how it would like evoke emotions in that way?
Okay. So I feel like you kind of asked two questions in one. The first one, the first one, as far as how to identify those pain points. It's as simple as surveying your audience, and I know it sounds cliche, but it's literally that simple. I would recommend all business owners to put some sort of link in their bio where
Mm-hmm.
they receive anonymous questions. Okay. Now, once again, you got your spreadsheet. I mean, you're gonna hear me say spreadsheet 1,000 times. Once again, now you have your spreadsheet full of data specific to your clients. Okay. And now this is a way. Okay, that there's many ways you can find out what their pain points are. A lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is just getting in the paint, just jumping in the water with your feet, getting your feet wet. A lot of it comes from that. It's not really a 1, 2, 3 step system, but I can just tell you little ways. And starting by putting that link in your bio that allows you to get questions from outsiders and let them submit it anonymously. You know how people don't want to reveal themselves, or you can just let them submit it with their information, and that's the first way to tell. And then I think the second part of your question, oh my goodness, I forgot. Do you remember? You said something about, can I
How
give you an example? Sorry, go ahead.
it was the question was how does it how were you able to generate the pain points that resonate emotions that builds that connection?
Okay, so that goes back to knowing my ideal client. Most of them are very money generated. So,
Mm-hmm.
so again, how to edit a video that is a $5 problem for my client. $5 problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how to implement an effective marketing strategy so you can increase client acquisition
Mm-hmm.
that is a $500,000 problem to my client. So to answer your question, what do I speak on more that resonates with them emotionally
Mm-hmm.
because they're money driven? That's how I talk to them. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
speak to them. Now I don't use a lot of, like, a lot of people in their marketing, they use a lot of figures where they say, my client made $100,000 in 30 days and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't
ten
do that.
thousand dollars in a month or
Yeah,
whatever.
$10,000 or $1 million overnight, like that crazy type of stuff. I, I don't go down that lane. And the reason why is because I heavily believe when you lead with cheese, you attract rats. And
Right.
I'm not here to attract rats. I'm here to attract people who know that you got to put the work in. Okay. So it's really just having that shift in my messaging, and having the shift in my messaging is knowing how to reach them emotionally. But the only way you know that is by knowing more about your client, just knowing more about them. And most of them, yes, they're money motivated. I hate to say it. That can be a gift and a curse, but I kind of use that within the overall messaging of my marketing.
I don't think it's hating to say that. I think pretty much it's just being real, raw, and honest about who your people are, and what their goal is, and what it is, what it is that they're looking to achieve, and if it's that's what it is, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Cool. So, what do you think sets you apart from everyone else that does what you do?
So, in my experience, just from doing like client surveys and just getting feedback, tied in a little bit with how I feel inside. It's definitely the experience in the industry. So this is something that I didn't mention in the beginning, which I probably should have, because it is a important component to the story. So before I started my marketing company, when I was still, a 9 to 5er, I was working in the doctor's office. So I have, my background for 15 years plus is working in various doctor's offices. And I'm talking basically every position that was not hands-on. Okay, I didn't do any nursing and stuff like that, but as far as managing and medical billing and all that stuff, so to say, I know how an office is supposed to work. So I bring that perspective because I do have the background in a medical and dental office.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that definitely sets me apart is I tend to over explain. A lot of marketing companies now, they just like to take all of the client's assets and then you never really hear from them again unless something's wrong or payment
Yeah.
didn't go through, or payment
Mm-hmm.
didn't go through. So I like to regularly meet with my clients. I love, and if it's not me, it's someone from my team, a familiar
Mm-hmm.
face, because I do have 2 people working with me. So someone from my team will meet with them. We do routine meetings, and then that way I can kind of show them and break down, where we are. Here's the progress. Here are our goals. Here's how we have got there or met these goals so far. So I'm very personal and one-on-one. And then I think the third thing is that I, like we talked about earlier, I'm practicing what I preach. If you go research Cheri Cobb or Cheri Cobb Creative online, I'm literally everywhere. Okay, I'm literally everywhere. So I'm not just on here, talking shit and just trying to get people to just, to do shit that I'm not doing myself. So those are the 3 things right there, and there's probably more, but I don't want to hold you up all day.
It's all good. So, what do you feel like is your definition of a brand story?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What is your definition of a brand story?
So, my definition of a brand story, I guess I would say, being able to take your past experiences and use them to tell a story that helps you attract more clients that you're looking to attract, but you're using your story and your testimonials and things that you've went through, your experience, shift and shape that story in a way that is appealing to the clients you want to attract.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle with that. I still do, and it's something that I was open and honest with you about. I struggle with that because I knew how to be appealing and to attract a typical business owner, because that's what I did, and that's how I grew my following. Because I spoke about, hey, here's how you can quit your 9 to 5, or here's how you can make $100,000 in your first year, of quitting like I did, or here's how you can balance a 9 to 5 and a side hustle. I was easily appealing to those type of
Mm-hmm.
people. But then when I jumped over into working with the types of clients I work with now, and again, like I said, I still kind of struggle with it a little bit, is appealing and relating to them, because we live a totally different lifestyle. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I yearn to live like them. Okay, you remember I told you my ideal client? She's bringing in at least 500,000 a year. Okay, I want to be on her level. I want to be there, but I'm not yet. So that's my answer to that. I hope that answered your question.
There's no really right or wrong way of answering that question. It's based on your experience and based on what you feel the question feels like to you, or
Okay, okay.
what a brand story feels like to you. And that's why I like to ask that question, because every entrepreneur has a different definition of what it means to them based on their experience and what their business is and so on and so forth. So it's never really a wrong or right. It's just, I'm just interested. It piques my interest to actually ask that question for people to be like, well, my brand story is da 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 da. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I like that.
Okay, okay.
Definitely. So it's all good. So my other question is, what is the most memorable compliment or review or testimonial that a client has given you that's touched your heart space till this day?
I don't know if there's one in particular,
Mm-hmm.
but if I can summarize them all, I love how they all say that I provide a fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
They because marketing, it can be a little stressful sometimes, and especially in a situation, kind of how my company is built, where we work with offices and we have to get content from these offices, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not videographers, they're not professionals, but I am. So when they send that crap over to me, sometimes I'm like, oh no, we're not we're not doing that. We're not posting that. So
Mm-hmm.
uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you and I can see you.
Uh-oh, where'd you go? Oh, it just glitched out for just a
Yeah,
second.
sometimes that happens, but you're good. I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay. Um, where Tell me what you asked again. I'm so sorry.
You're
Look.
fine.
This is
You're
probably why I
fine.
don't have my own podcast.
It's all good. I was asking you what's the most memorable review or
Oh, there you go.
compliment.
There you go. So
Uh-huh.
they say that I'm fun, and it's because, like I said, this can be very stressful, and I don't want it to be stressful. It doesn't need to be stressful, and if they're stressed, I'm not going to get the best out of them. And
Mhm.
when I'm in their office, and I'm on site, I need to get the best out of them. So when people compliment, my processes, and they say, oh, she's a joy to work with, she was
Mhm.
pleasant, or she over exceeded our expectations, those are the words that truly resonate with me the most, because I am like a fun person. I like to have fun. Now, catch me about 10 years ago, I was the life of the party. I'm a little older now, but I love, when I bring out a good time in people. I love that. Life is too short to be mad. So yes.
Absolutely agreed 100%. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing all the information with us. Can you let us know how, audience can contact you, connect with you, work with you, or just to just have a conversation with you when it comes to social media and different things like that? Like, where would they reach you?
Yes. Come find me on Instagram, and it's Cheri Cobb. That's it. So the name that you see here on the screen, you just put
Mm-hmm.
ITS in front of it, and then you can find me there and send me a DM. Let me know that you watched this. If there were any aha moments or anything that, you just got
Stood
completely
out.
taken back by, yeah, let me know. Send me a DM, anything like that. Send me a screenshot. Just send me something so I can know you're there.
Send me a screenshot. That's funny.
But
Well,
yes, that's where you
okay.
can find me. It's Cheri Cobb.
Awesome. All right, podcast listeners. So you heard it here first. It's Cheri Cobb, not Sherry. It's Cheri Cobb on Instagram. So thank you so much, Cherie, for joining us. I appreciate it. This was a blast. It was so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've never had someone be like, I'm only fans. I'm like, thank you
Hey,
for making it interesting.
make sure whenever your editors
I don't edit,
tips.
to be honest.
Oh, okay. We need that part first. Okay, I need you to start off with let everybody know we have a OnlyFans member here
Account.
today. No, I'm just messing. But thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I
Absolutely.
appreciate the opportunity and the platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you, podcast listeners, for tuning in for another episode of What's Your Brand Story. I'm your host, Stills Victoria. Again, be grateful for all things from the time you wake up in the morning until the time you go to sleep. Be grateful for
Hmm.
the little things, the simple things, the big things, all of the things. Be grateful, be grateful, be grateful. And remember, life is so short, so live it every single day as if it was your last, because we just don't know. Till next time, talk to you guys later. Bye.